All right. Kilmar Abrego Garcia has been freed. He's been returned to the United States. Some more slight good news in this time of darkness. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. After months of ignoring our Constitution, it seems that the Trump admin has relented to our demands for compliance with court orders and due process for Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Because again, keep in mind, the federal courts told them you need to bring him back. Went up to the Supreme Court. They agreed 9-0. As much as Stephen Miller, that fucking sniveling fucking a white supremacist Eggman, wants to cope and seethe about it. You know, with his non-white wife, of course, wants to cope about it. You know, this stalwart ally for the white race, Stephen Miller, who pretends to, LARP and pretend as like a little fucking foot soldier for Adolf Hitler. I'm just kidding. That's not a LARP. He actually thinks he's a little fucking loyal foot soldier for Adolf Hitler. As much as he likes to fucking lie about that stuff, and now he's getting cucked by Elon Musk. Based. I guess. That's a wretched thing. Honestly, conditionally based. Conditionally based. Any misfortune upon Stephen Miller is always a good thing. Oh yeah, him lying directly in like a press conference to Trump, saying like, yeah, we won that actually 9-0. It's just like, but you didn't. You're just lying. Just lie. You lost that 0-9. Like, even Alito and Thomas broke with you on that one. Just how blatant and bad it is that you have to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and that basically means you fucking bring him back. Yeah, it was a 9-0 decision, right? Alito and Thomas, who are both the fucking stupid far right schizos on the fucking court, agreed with the lower courts, saying like, yeah, you got to bring him back. Like you have to. You're like filing at least 2 amendments to the Constitution, so that's cool. But yeah, it's they brought him back, even though they said like courts have said during his like illegal immigration proceedings, saying like, yeah, there's credible reason for him to stay in asylum, because if he gets sent back to El Salvador, which is, where the CECOT prison is in El Salvador, there is reason to believe that there would be danger upon Kilmar Abrego Garcia's life. So, this has never been about the man. It's about his constitutional rights and the rights for all. Full statement. Let's take a look. For months, the Trump administration flouted the Supreme Court and our Constitution. Today, they appear to have finally relented to our demands for compliance with court orders and with the due process rights afforded to everyone in the United States. As I have repeatedly said, this is not about the man. It's about his constitutional rights and the rights for all. The administration will now have to make its case in the court of law, as it should have all along. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, what's even, like, the fucking basis of, like, what the fuck is even going on? Like, they're now trying to allege that he's a fucking human trafficker. Evidence for that? I don't know. Nothing. If that's what they're gonna go with to the court this time to try to deport him, because again, ICE, the Gestapo, need to have their fucking quotas to be. They need to have their quotas for their pay for play scheme that they have with Nayib Bukele to send people to a prison slave labor camp out in El Salvador. That's pretty cool and fucking epic. Based of them, of course, of the Trump administration doing these wretched, terrible things. So that's cool. That's great. Fantastic. Trump's Gestapo somehow regained the capability to bring Abrego Garcia home once they cooked up phony charges against him based on being pulled over for a traffic violation in 2022. That's fucking crazy. So what? He was trying to find work, and that's when he initially got arrested. And now there's a bunch of fucking cooked up bullshit fucking charges for fucking a traffic violation. That's it. And that's why they're just like, yeah, we gotta deport you back to El Salvador. Yeah, like, violation of Fourth Amendment as always, but, well, does the fucking, the U.S. State Department and the state fucking care about any of that shit? No. But let's see what we got here. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, newly returned to the U.S., appears in court on charges of trafficking migrants. What's the evidence of this? Mistakenly deported Salvadoran native, Kilmar Abrego Garcia appeared in a Tennessee courtroom Friday, hours after he was brought back to the United States to face criminal charges for allegedly transporting undocumented migrants within the U.S. Nah. More than 2 months after the Trump administration admitted it mistakenly, yeah, because keep in mind, literally, fucking lawyers from the administration itself, from the Department of Justice, admitted that they were just doing this based off of orders, and it's just like, yeah, there's like no evidence of any of this. Like, we just literally just did this by administrative accident. It's just hilarious. And so it's just like, okay, then you bring them back. If this was a mistake, bring them back. What are you people doing? But that's cool. Abrego Garcia from Maryland to his native El Salvador. A 2-count indictment unsealed Friday alleges that he participated in a year-long conspiracy to haul undocumented migrants from Texas to the interior of the country. Really? Investigating 2022 Garcia traffic stop. So this is the traffic stop itself. U.S. Department of Justice has been quietly investigating a Tennessee traffic stop in 2022 involving Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Salvadoran man at the center of a high-profile court battle over his mistaken deportation from Maryland to El Salvador by the Trump admin, ABC has learned. The federal investigators involved in the inquiry recently spoke with a convicted felon in an Alabama prison and questioned him about potential connections to Abrego Garcia, according to the sources familiar with the investigation. What do you want to make? Do you guys want to like make a bet that they could be lying? We've seen there's like videos of like these fucking dumbass fucking interrogation fucking bullshit. They will do anything possible in order to get the fucking answers that they're looking for. It's literally like some fucking 40K Inquisitor tier shit. Like, unironically. The inmate, Jose Ramon Hernandez Reyes, 38, was the registered owner of a vehicle driven by Abrego Garcia when he was stopped by the Tennessee Highway Patrol in late 2022, according to the sources. Abrego Garcia was pulled over for speeding in a vehicle with 8 passengers and told police they'd been working construction in Missouri. Okay. So it was a registered owner of a vehicle that was being driven by Abrego Garcia when he was stopped by Tennessee Highway Patrol in late 2022. Okay. So far I'm sensing idle conjecture. Fuck. He's wearing a Chicago Bulls hat. That means he's a Trenderagua. We all know this. Add that to our fucking little score sheets, obviously. Very, very cool. And this is a video of the fucking traffic stop? That's crazy. Federal agents investigating the Tennessee incident appeared late last month at the Federal Correctional Institute in Talladega, Alabama, to question Hernandez Reyes, found an attorney present and was granted limited immunity, sources familiar with the interview said. Hernandez Reyes told investigators that he previously operated a taxi service based in Baltimore. He claimed to have met Abrego Garcia around 2015 and claimed to have hired him on multiple occasions to transport undocumented migrants from Texas to various locations in the United States, the sources told ABC News. The frequency and the time frame of the alleged trips was not immediately clear. Okay, here's the fucking thing with this. Was Kilmar Abrego Garcia aware of this? Did he know what he was like participating in? Right? Did he have any idea that these were trafficked migrants? Probably not. Yeah, because let's be honest here. Would Hernandez Reyes or whoever the benefactor is say that these are undocumented migrants from Texas that are being transported to various locations in the U.S.? Probably not. It's unclear whether prosecutors will ultimately gather enough evidence to bring charges against Abrego Garcia. Oh, hey, that's what I was just saying. The interview of Hernandez Reyes, however, appears to be a new and aggressive step in the government's efforts to gather potentially incriminating evidence against Abrego Garcia's background, even as it resists calls for him to be provided typical protections to respond to such accusations through the American legal system. Well, you're telling me that the Trump administration may be violating more constitutional rights? Say it ain't so. A spokesperson for the Department of Justice declined to comment. According to body camera footage of the 2022 traffic stop, The Tennessee troopers, after questioning Abrego Garcia, discussed among themselves their suspicions of human trafficking because 9 people were traveling without luggage. But Abrego Garcia was not ticketed or charged. Right, because we don't know if he's been, sort of, solicited against his knowledge or necessarily. And there's not really enough evidence to say, that Kilmar Abrego Garcia had, really much of anything to do with this. Or that he even knew if they were fucking illegal immigrants or undocumented migrants. So, who would have thought? When asked to provide proof of insurance, Abrego Garcia told officers he would have to call his boss because he didn't know where the insurance card was in the car, because it wasn't his car. Audio from the police footage cuts out briefly after an officer asked Abrego Garcia who owned the vehicle. The officers ultimately issued no speeding ticket and allowed Abrego Garcia to drive on with just a warning about an expired driver's license. Well, unlucky, I guess. According to a report about the stop released last month by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Tennessee Highway Patrol in a statement last month said troopers contacted federal authorities before making that decision. Okay, so that was what Biden would have been in power then, and so he's just like, Jack, who cares, whatever. The Tennessee Highway Patrol can confirm a 2022 traffic stop of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, who was stopped for speeding on I-40. A Tennessee Highway Patrol spokesperson said, per standard protocol, the THP contacted federal law enforcement authorities with the Biden-era FBI, the agency of jurisdiction, who made the decision not to detain him. Well, crazy. So they were just like, nah, who cares? There's not really much of anything to really go off of here. There's no evidence. So just let him go. Alright, cool. An attorney for Abrego Garcia, Simon Sandoval Mossenberg, said last week that he saw no evidence of a crime in the Tennessee traffic stop. Oh, hey, that's what I'm saying. Evidence? I mean, he's bad. That's illegal, I guess, but everyone speeds. Who gives a shit? Just don't hit people for it. But the point is not the traffic stop. It's that Mr. Abrego Garcia deserves his day in court. Bring him back to the United States, Sandoval Mosenberg said. I have represented Kilmar Abrego Garcia for more than a month, and this body cam video is the first time I've heard his voice. He has been denied the most basic protections of due process. No phone to call his lawyer, no call to his wife or kid, and no opportunity to be heard, he said. Yeah, that's also true. Again, whoa, we don't care about the 6th Amendment? The Trump administration doesn't care about that shit? Whoa, crazy. Sandoval Mosenberg, when reached Monday by ABC News, declined further comment, right? Because the case is ongoing right now, right? Not best to reveal much information unless it's advantageous for you for winning the case. When details of the Tennessee traffic stop were first publicized, Abrego Garcia's wife said her husband sometimes transported groups of fellow construction workers between job sites. Oh, his wife's defending him. Family values. Republicans, you could learn something. Unfortunately, Kilmar is currently imprisoned without contact with the outside world, which means he cannot respond to the claims, Jennifer Vasquez Sura said in mid-April. The Trump administration in recent weeks has been publicizing Abrego Garcia's interactions with police over the years, despite a lack of corresponding criminal charges. Yeah, which all the police also said, yeah, we didn't charge him with anything because we don't have any evidence to bring charges. So now they want to charge him with human trafficking, with what Pam Bondi's trying to do, saying he's a human trafficker. Evidence? I don't know. He had some migrants without luggage, and it's just that's not enough. You're gonna need a lot. You're gonna need a little more sauce than that. And now the incident in Tennessee nearly 3 years ago is under renewed scrutiny by the Justice Department. Sources tell ABC News, just as the litigation over his erroneous deportation enters a critical stage. The administration faces deadlines this week to answer discovery requests about what steps officials have taken to comply with a district judge's order, affirmed by the U.S. Supreme Court, to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return to U.S. Four U.S. officials are also set to be deposed this week by lawyers for Abrego Garcia. Abrego Garcia's expulsion in March to El Salvador violated a U.S. immigration judge's order in 2019 that shielded him from deportation to his native country, according to immigration court records. The judge had determined that Abrego Garcia would likely face persecution there by local gangs that had terrorized him and his family. Like I said before, yeah, what the Trump administration did to begin with was not only illegal because of no due process, illegal because, habeas corpus, and illegal because he already was being protected by, a separate fucking court order that was preventing him from being deported. Who cares? Deport him anyways, because, the Constitution, I don't know what that is. But sir, you're supposed to uphold that. That's literally your job. What? I don't know what that is. Abrego Garcia was initially sent to El Salvador's notorious CECOT prison, but is now believed to be held in a different facility. Last month, after Abrego Garcia's family filed a lawsuit, U.S. District Judge Paula Zinnes ordered the Trump administration to facilitate his return. We've seen this before. Hernandez Reyes, who was not present during the 2022 traffic stop, was charged in 2020 with a 7-count federal indictment for unlawful transportation of undocumented migrants within the U.S. According to the criminal complaint, Hernandez Reyes had rented a minivan that was pulled over by police in Gautier, Mississippi, and found with a total of 9 undocumented occupants. Abrego Garcia was not among them. Yes. At that point, he was like, was it 2020? Yeah, he was probably in Maryland with his wife and kids, so, that's true as hell. Trump probably does wipe his ass with the Constitution. Hernandez Reyes allegedly admitted that he was in the U.S. illegally and told federal investigators from the Department of Homeland Security that he had previously lived in Maryland but had since moved to Houston. He said he operated a Texas-based business transporting people throughout the U.S. for $350 per person. In June 2020, he pleaded guilty to a single count of unlawful transportation of an alien and was sentenced to 18 months in prison and subsequently deported, according to court records. He was found back in the U.S. in late 2022 when he was charged in Montgomery County, Texas, with illegal discharge of a firearm, according to state court records. After serving time in Texas, he was charged federally with illegally re-entering the U.S. After being previously convicted of a felony, he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 30 months. Man, this guy can't catch a break. He just keeps breaking laws. Unlucky for Hernandez Reyes. So, this is like some fucking trumped up bullshit against Abrego Garcia. There's like no fucking evidence that he had any idea about what Hernandez Reyes was just like making him do. Just nothing. No evidence. Nothing at all. That's cool. Lovely. Well, what does Pam Bondi have to say about this? Breaking. Pam Bondi officially announces Kilmar Abrego Garcia will be returned to the U.S. after the DOJ uncovered he made over 100 smuggling trips of illegals. Really? It was only once. Was it even 100? 100? Did he even know that he was doing smuggling trips? Oh, well, as expected of a dude who went on Tucker Carlson Tonight, Fox News, Newsmax, and Timcast. Whoa, he's full of shit probably. Crazy. A grand jury found human trafficking was Garcia's full-time job, and he frequently abused women. Okay, we all know about the bullshit shit here. The reason why he abused his wife was because he got PTSD for what? What was his crime? Apparently loitering around a Home Depot. And he got detained by ICE. Crazy. And when, they tried to deport him for fucking nothing, crazy. It was based off of nothing, and he got fucking PTSD from it. He got fucking, mentally abused. He developed a fucking mental disorder. But, ableism in my Republican Party? Crazy. This is the Democrats' hero. Bondi says Garcia will eventually be returned back to El Salvador, which is illegal. He's still protected by that other court's order in 2019, so that's cool, after he completes his sentence in an American prison. Again, we just read the report on this. There's no evidence to suggest that Kilmar Abrego Garcia. There's not enough evidence to suggest that he knew he was doing smuggling trips of illegals. But, as expected here. But what does our stupid Nazi Barbie here have to say?
And conspiracy to commit alien smuggling in violation of Title 8 USC 1324. We want to thank President
No evidence, of course, of this.
Bukele for agreeing to return Abrego Garcia to the United States. Our government presented El Salvador with an arrest warrant, and they agreed to return him to our country. We're great.
Really? Is that the real fucking basis of what the evidence is? Because of, there's fine, fuck it. If we can't put him in the fucking prison slave labor camp in El Salvador, we'll find some other prison slave labor camp to fucking put him in. Fine, whatever. I'm 95% certain that this is probably the play.
Grateful to President Bukele for agreeing to return him to our country to face these very serious charges. This is what American justice looks like.
Yeah, randomly just coming up with bullshit charges based off of mostly idle conjecture. Cool. That what? They did the fucking stop, but there's basically no fucking evidence of anything that's fucking happened. Nothing at all. And guess what? Whoa. These motherfuckers are constantly abusing the rights of that Kilmar Abrego Garcia has afforded to him under the fucking Constitution. So that's cool.
Upon completion of his sentence, we anticipate he will be returned to his home country of El Salvador.
Which you can't do because he has a court order from 2019 that's shielding him from being returned to El Salvador. Because again, credible evidence has been found that if he were shipped back to El Salvador, there may be danger on his life and his family. But
The grand jury found that over the past 9 years, Abrego Garcia has played a significant role in an alien smuggling ring.
No evidence still. None. None at all. Because here's the thing. If he's just transporting fucking a bunch of construction workers, a lot of construction workers, generally speaking, tend to be illegal migrants that the U.S. brings in. That came in through ports of entry. They overstayed their fucking visas, and guess what? They can't leave now. So they're just well, guess we're stuck here doing construction work. So, yeah, this is on you guys doing this. But, does our favorite fucking Barbie here, our stupid little Nazi Barbie here, is meh? No.
They found this was his full-time job, not a contractor. He was a smuggler of humans and children and women.
I didn't know that construction workers were women. I mean, I guess there can be some women construction workers, Daho being a misogynist, tactically, of course. Children? Children working on construction sites? That's a new one for me, Pam.
He made over 100 trips, the grand jury found, smuggling people throughout our country.
What is this grand jury? Kilmar Abrego Garcia grand jury. Who is this grand jury? Who did that? Who are these people? Is there nothing? Wait, Abrego Garcia was secretly indicted? Abrego Garcia was secretly indicted by a federal grand jury in Nashville last month on 2 felony charges. Secretly indicted? Really? Who did this? Here we go. Here's how you already know this is complete bullshit. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, as detailed further below, used his status in MS-13 to further his criminal activity. Zero evidence that he was a part of MS-13. Yeah, this is a bunch of fucking bullshit. Bullshit. Over the course of the conspiracy, the conspirators knowingly and unlawfully transported thousands of undocumented aliens who had no authorization to be present in the U.S. Did Kilmar Abrego Garcia know about any of this? Nope. Yeah, so I can already tell you, This is complete fucking nonsense. This fucking Also, it's an indictment, right? This is just allegations. This is a complete utter conjecture. So, okay, cool, whatever. Also, what's the likelihood that the fucking Trump administration fucking sacked the jury? I'm just saying. If they're going ahead with the idiotic conspiracy theory that Kilmar Abrego Garcia was, had status in MS-13, I inherently distrust anything that these fucking dumbasses have to say. But whatever.
MS-13 members, violent gang, terrorist organization members throughout our country.
No evidence of this, of course.
Thousands of illegal aliens were smuggled.
Still no evidence.
This is especially disturbing because Abrego Garcia is also alleged with transporting minor children. The defendant traded the innocence of minor children for profit.
Yeah, because, thousands? Okay. Because, again, the Trump administration doesn't give a fuck about numbers. 100 trips. Let's even assume that it's 100 trips. And the one time he had, 8 people. Okay. What's 100 times 8? 800. It's not thousands. Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're adult children. That's a good point. I don't know why they're not sending evangelical pastors, who diddle kids to CECOT. There's probably no reason for that.
There are even more disturbing facts that the grand jury uncovered. It is alleged this defendant is part of the same smuggling ring responsible for the death of more than 50 migrants in
Well, they have to stack on empty signifiers onto this, Estelle, because there's no basis or evidence for any of this shit, right? There's nothing there. There's no there. So to feed the fucking the lumpen proles that call themselves Trump supporters, they have to keep hemming up the sort of trumped up charges against Kilmar Abrego Garcia to titillate their fucking lizard brains. So, as expected from Nazi Barbie over here. Crazy. She's lying.
2021 after the tractor trailer overturned in Mexico. This is part of that same...
Why do you say Mexico like that? Who the fuck says Mexico like... Mexico! That's right, brother. Brother, that's Mexico. That's right.
Ring. The defendant abused undocumented alien females, according to co-conspirators, who were under his control while...
Oh, that's the new line. So, spousal abuse? That shit didn't fucking work because we're kind of the reason why that happened. But, okay. But actually, it's because of, all the migrant ladies that just got smacked in the face or some shit. Yeah, totally care. Oh yeah, this mother stupid dumb fucking Barbie could care less about the deaths of migrants, so it's stupid.
While transporting them throughout our country. This defendant trafficked firearms and narcotics throughout our country on multiple occasions.
Yeah, man. Now let's that didn't even fucking get mentioned in any of the police reports whatsoever. Nothing. We're just gonna throw in drugs. You just keep hemming and hawing. Again, we all know why she's saying the things she's saying. She's saying this to titillate the brains of the lumpen proles that call themselves Trump supporters. Be like, what the guns and drugs? That's real bad. Whatever. Stupid.
They were using vehicles, SUVs, with added seats in the back, floors that had been ripped out, guns, narcotics, children, women, MS-13 members.
Think about, she's just saying words. Just words that are meant to titillate the fucking lizard brain of all these stupid lumpen proles. That is the entire point of her saying guns, drugs, MS-13. Why the fuck would you include any of those in fucking floorboards or some shit? What the fuck are you doing? No, it's meant to sort of gin up a fucking conspiracy theory. That's the entire point of all this.
That is what the grand jury found.
Yeah, a bunch of like a secret grand jury that is alleging that Kilmar Abrego Garcia is MS-13 because I don't know, he has tattoos on his knuckles. Like no, just like no evidence at all. Like they're presenting, they presented anything? No evidence here. In addition to trafficking and transporting undocumented aliens, pretty much no fucking evidence here. Multiple co-conspirator 1, 2, and 3. An effort in part to protect operational security, consider the illegal smuggling operation, very transportation routes. Sure, man. I'm not seeing a lot of evidence being presented. Devised and employed knowing false cover stories. Okay. Like they're describing like what criminals would do, but again, any evidence? Nope. Just nothing.
A co-conspirator alleged that the defendant solicited nude photographs and videos of a minor.
Sure, just throw in child sexual abuse material in there as well. Fuck it. Yeah, alleged.
Co-conspirator also alleges the defendant played a role in the murder of a rival gang member's mother.
Sure, yeah, also just say he killed someone's mother. Again, it should be fairly fucking obvious here. They're just throwing in a bunch of fucking bullshit, idle fucking conjecture that they have no fucking evidence for in order to try to, well, be like, fuck. Alright. We tried to deport him illegally. It didn't fucking work. So how about we just throw a bunch of random shit at the wall, like the Russians do, and see what fucking sticks. Again, all of this in the stuff that we just read has no basis or any evidence at all. She's just doing this because she's a fucking racist, Barbie-ass fucking freak. That's the entire point of this. But you know, not beneath this stupid, dumbass fucking Barbie here to be like, yeah, dude, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, child rapist, he had he had a CSAM or something, and he had guns and weapons, and narcotics, and he had the women and children that he was smuggling, in order to fucking, like, just throw as much crap at the wall to see what fucking works and see what fucking sticks. So, yeah, cool. As expected from the racist, dumbfuck Trump administration, they're willing to just lie and just say complete idle conjecture and nonsense. And, whoa, crazy that it's just completely fucking nothing. It's just a nothing burger. There's no evidence for any of this, and it's all just like stupid fucking accusations, as expected from this stupid ass racist bitch. And yeah, it's totally just not fucking believable with each accusation. But again, I expect nothing less.